Hey guys, today's video is going to be the last day of my Budapest trip. I have done it in a way so it kind of tells a story. The city itself is known for hot baths and hot springs. There are tons and tons of like caves you can go and visit. So this one, as you can see the name is here, I am not going to try and pronounce it, but I know Hagi's Cave. So this is the one we chose to visit. We went out of season and obviously we managed to get a tour. It was literally just me, my mum and this guy who led me around. His English was pretty good. He doesn't know great English, but you can book yourself on according to what language you are, but you will need to book ahead of schedule to go and visit these caves. The floor is stable in this one, so you can see there's a path, and so this one you can get away with wearing like your kind of good walking shoes. There is a version as well where you can crawl around and be a bit more adventurous, but if you've got kind of a rubbish back or you've got a bit of claustrophobia, I'd recommend this cave instead of the other ones. But again, depending on what your skill and what your kind of fear level is, you could choose one or the other. So this cave basically at one point would have been filled with water, really hot water, so there's hot springs everywhere, and eventually the water will sink down and it leaves these caves. Crystals will form according to what temperature the water is, and the guy will show you the cold water area, the hot water area, just so you can see what's going on. But you really do get some really nice shots down here, so I had to add it in. And I actually started the day in the hot springs, but I'm putting it after because that now is where we are. So when the Turkish armies kind of took over, public bathing was a big thing, so you will find a lot of thermal baths in Budapest. And I was at the Geliert, so I had to go and visit their springs, and again, you get that for free if you're staying there. So it was my last day of Budapest, and I want to tell you that I spent most of the day in the Buda side. So the Buda side is cleaner. If you go up towards the castle, they've got their own district there, and it's really super clean. That's the one thing I remarked upon. So if you're looking for a very clean getaway, Budapest should definitely be on your list somewhere. This is sadly the last video. I guess I'm just going to give you a bit of a breakdown, and then I'll give you a review. So whether I recommend it, what I think kind of out of 10 kind of thing. So we again climbed up to Buda Castle, had a look at the gorgeous views in the sunlight. Buda Castle has a few interesting details where if you know like Vlad the Impaler, he actually was there for a little bit, but Vlad the Impaler, who was from Walalichi kingdom, a lot of his story takes place here because he was kept in Labyrinth, which is coming up very soon. Also, I recommend you check the Hospital in the Rock. This place is amazing. You can get tours in your language. This was an amazing tour. They've got lots and lots of mannequins around, and it will give you a history of the Budapest during the Second World War. Definitely do it. So Vlad the Impaler was at one point imprisoned, so they found out he was being a bit of a psycho and he was imprisoned down into the Labyrinth. This is the Labyrinth. Labyrinth is, well, as I read it, it said it was for kids. It was kind of like a really level kind of way of experiencing the tunnels safely, but actually that's kind of incorrect. The Labyrinth is dark. I do not recommend you check this place out if you are scared of the dark, or if you're claustrophobic. Do not do it. As you can see, these pictures are very dark, and there is a certain part in the labyrinth where there are no lights. You follow a rope in the dark, and it is spooky. This place is remarked to be haunted, so if you believe in that, you might want to go and give that a check out. Again, Vlad the Impaler was imprisoned here for a bit, so whether you believe that or not, maybe I don't know, you can go and check that out. As well, the Turkish ruler of the time threw loads of his concubines down here to die, so it's not the best of places, and it definitely gives you the creeps. I was a little bit creeped out, but definitely glad I did it, and you can basically go down for a discount if you have the Budapest card. So again, with all my trips abroad, I go and take a boat ride, and the hop on hop off bus, I managed to get one of these done, and they gave me free drinks, which is quite nice. So you get a hot drink and you get a cold drink, and you basically travel around. You head towards Margaret Island. You can get off at Margaret Island if you choose, go and explore that island, or just basically it goes one side, talks about the Buddha side, talks about the Pest side. It'll give you some history, which is quite nice, and I definitely recommend you check it out if you are one of those people who like to get a little bit of a lowdown of history of the places you're visiting. So this bridge here is the nice cool one, which is opposite my hotel. So I stayed at the Galliot, and it's definitely nearly my favourite hotel. It's not quite there. It didn't knock out the Sibiu one just yet, but this hotel was great. It's very scenic, and I definitely recommend that you guys, what I always say when you're going to go anywhere, find a high place, find a low place, and find a place along a river. If you're on a river, make sure you go on the river. So get a panoramic view, get a feel for the caves or caverns if there are any, and go along the river if you can. I've got an announcement at the end of this kind of segment, so I will do that very soon. Get excited. So with Budapest, it is a tale of two cities. During the Second World War, all of the bridges were destroyed, which is why I definitely recommend you guys do the bits I've noted beforehand and then do your tour afterwards, because it will build upon what you have learnt. So by this point I knew the bridges had been destroyed. I knew that during the Second World War this town had pretty much suffered really heavily. Now, as you can see, I've got a really great kind of view of the Parliament building. Definitely wanted to get another look at that before leaving. This Parliament is definitely one of my more favourites. I think it looks the best, and it's definitely very pretty in the night time to go and get a picture of. I recommended last time that you get yourself a tour. Definitely get yourself a tour, have a look around it. It definitely, again, it fills up time. It allows you to learn a different aspect of the town that you're in. What I did find out that Hungary is one of the most taxed cities in the world, so the people who live in Hungary get taxed about 35%, which probably explains why the city just looks so clean. They've got so much spare money going around that they can do that. Budapest has been one of my most favourite trips of the year, but again, I think my road trip in Germany probably took the biscuit this year because it was one of my favourites. But Budapest was really, really good. I had it recommended to me, and I've been recommending it to people around me who've started to ask for like advice to the go. And what I said to you guys is, I think if you like European cities and you enjoy exploring and you like your history, I'd say go. If you like to relax, there is the resort world, so there are places to relax like thermal baths. So it's got a bit for everyone. It's history, it's relaxation, it's a bit of everything, and it's culinary. So up ahead you can see the Margaret Island, and we did opt to get off at the Margaret Island just because we had a bit of spare time. So this is my last day with visiting here. My plane was in the evening around, I think it was about 5 o'clock. So we had a bit of time before heading to the airport. And if you're wondering how long to allow for the airport, my taxi took about 50 minutes, and that was pretty good. We did hit a bit of traffic, but 50 minutes you might want to allow just to get yourself a taxi towards the airport. And on Margaret Island you will see a mini zoo, there is a bathhouse, so there's baths everywhere, there is a nice walk, there's a hotel on the island which is the Grand Budapest Hotel, which I'm wondering, does this have any is it one in the movie? Perhaps it is. It's part of the chain that I stayed at, so maybe it is. It's quite a posh hotel. There is an abandoned ruins of monasteries. It's a great place to go visit. I definitely recommend maybe even to spend an afternoon there. I only spent about an hour on the island, which kind of sucks, but I definitely would say if you've got a bit more time, you can dedicate a bit more time to checking out this island and doing it. So overall, what do I think? Budapest for me, I would say, is just beautiful. It's fantastic. I'd say it's scenic, so definitely giving it a nice 10 out of 10 for scenery and its lights. It's a photo opportunity, so if you're there for pictures and photography, go there. You will not be disappointed with the pictures you can take. If you're a food expert, if you really enjoy like travelling and getting a culinary experience, again, it's got a lot of places where you can eat and for certain amounts. So I mean, it's not as cheap as Romania, but it's definitely a nice cheap place to go where you will be able to get a lot for your money whilst doing it. The people, friendliness wise, I'm gonna knock a few marks down. Romania still tops the friendliness chart. The people are friendly enough in the city, but again, then that we had a few instances where people weren't so nice because we were English, so there is that as well. But I'm not taking too much of a mark off because it only happened a few times. We managed to go and have a look around Budapest Castle, and this building, which you're just seeing me leave now, is one of the Parliament buildings. So again, what would I recommend it? I would definitely recommend you check it out. Will I be returning anytime soon? Maybe not in the next foreseeable future, as I feel like I've got a lot more I want to visit, but would I come back maybe in long-term future? Probably. I enjoyed it enough. So my really cool announcement now is in about nearly a month, so probably a month now, I will be heading out to Salzburg in Austria, and you guys are going to get a lot of really beautiful scenery. I'm going to try and make more montages and just put some music to it, because I don't know if you guys are enjoying the heavy factual videos. I know there's not many of you, but I don't know if I'm boring you to death or you guys want to see more just montages. So I'm going to fade out now and give you a montage of me leaving Budapest. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my videos, and that you yourself maybe go to see Budapest yourself. And until we meet in Salzburg, I've got a Oyatsu box video coming up, an anime video coming up. So until then, have a good Christmas, guys. Bye bye.